In this one, we're going to talk about what it's like to be a Amazon seller and decide, all right, I'm going to start selling on Amazon. What does it take? How do I get up there and be profitable, make some money, actually turn this into a real business? I got my buddy Harrison here, and he's going to be sharing his experience selling on Amazon. All right, so Harrison started selling on Amazon about a year and a quarter ago.
Yep.
And so I guess the first question that I guess we'd like to know is, you know, how much do you make on Amazon now, a year and a quarter later?
Yeah, so now I'm doing month to month, doing roughly $25,000 in revenue per month.
Nice, nice. And I guess maybe you can share a little bit about what the startup was like. You know, how did you get to that point? What's been the journey for you till now?
Yeah, so I got started back in the summer of 2017, and it's been a roller coaster, honestly. Like, getting started took a while to gain traction. I think the first product I launched, I didn't do the research as well as I should have, and I launched a seasonal product at the end of the season. So, like, of course, all of the sales and all that stuff looked great when I was looking at it.
Right, when you were researching.
Yeah, and this is like a common problem. I see lots of people do this, and I wasn't thinking of the big picture, like looking at, you know, the trends throughout the year. And this is a fairly new product, and so it landed at Amazon at the end of August, and it was really slow moving. I was selling like 3 to 5 units a day, if that. And I was gonna give up on this product, and then what gave me hope is, like, December rolled around and I got my first taste of like Christmas sales, holiday sales, Q4, and so I sold out of my inventory, and I was like, oh shit, like maybe this will actually work.
So you were going to give up on the product, but were you also thinking about giving up on Amazon at that point?
I don't know, man. Like, so my situation was unique in that, like, it was either make this work or die.
Right.
Like,
There's no going back.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, at this time I was living in China, and I didn't have a ton of money, so I was like, I can't go back to a normal job. I need to figure out how to make this work. So throughout this whole time, when I thought that this was gonna be, this product was gonna be a dud, I was also doing research, constantly looking for other opportunities, and like reading a ton and figuring out what other people were doing to be successful.
So I think that's a huge, because we've talked before this, and I think that's a huge part of his success here. Maybe you could share a little bit about what your strategy with you know, introducing new products is like, because to my knowledge, you don't just depend on one product, right? Yeah.
So one thing that I realized quickly is that if you don't have a ton of startup capital, and you're not an e-commerce pro, then it's probably not a good idea to go after a product that's doing $100,000 in sales every month. Because that's gonna take a large amount of upfront capital to get it started, the launch, all that stuff. So I go after products that are kind of like under the radar, maybe not as attractive sales-wise, but rather than just selling one that's going to hit it out of the park, I'd like to sell, you know, as many products as I can that still generate $50 to $100 a day each.
Right.
And diversify that way. That way, if one doesn't work out, you're not totally screwed.
Right.
So, doing more products that do moderately well, as opposed to doing, you know, a few that are just like killing it.
And I guess your upfront inventory costs are quite a bit lower at that point too.
So instead of ordering, you know, 2,000 units plus for your initial order, I can get by with a test order of like 500 to 1,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit more about, you know, the finances and how you get this started.
Yeah.
But we'll go to a different location. Nice waterfall, right? So before we get into the financial question, how many products are you selling on Amazon right now?
I currently have 6 products.
Okay, so 6 products. And what does that look like from a startup perspective? Are you sourcing all those products at once, or did you kind of stagger it? I know you mentioned you started with one, and then, but yeah, how'd the other 5 come into the picture?
Yeah, so as I said, it took me a while to gain traction, and then early, like first quarter of this year, the first product that I thought was a dud picked up a lot because I said it was a seasonal product and that season started. So I had to place quite a large order for that product so that I just wouldn't run out of stock. And then at the same time, I was also launching a second product. And so those two together.
And that was the product that you started sourcing because you were worried about the first one, right?
Yeah, like I said, I was just doing ongoing research.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just wanted to sell anything that was going to just start making money. That was my goal, is just like find the product that can start generating income,
Yeah,
obviously.
Right.
And so those two kind of exploded at the end of April of this year. And I was able to reorder after those went out of stock, and then I'm just before we get to the finances, I'm just talking about like how all the products came into
That's
existence. And then like, so those were doing so well, and this is like May, June, and this is just two products, and I was doing like $1,000 a day in sales with just these two. So I was like, okay, this is great. Let's hit it while it's hot, and like, so I ordered two other. I did two different variations of one of the products that I sell, and I ordered like 500 units each, and so that brought me up to 4.
Right.
And let's see. Yeah, okay, and then I launched another variation of one of those products again that was just last month, so October. That product's doing really well now. And then also launched another product at the end of last month, so the beginning of November and October, which is another variation of one of the seasonal products that I talked about before.
Okay.
So that brings me up to 6. And some of the largest orders that I made were during the summer, when I was like reordering not just one, but the two new variations.
Right.
And what does that look like in terms of finances? Roughly, like if you're including shipping and everything, it can be anywhere from like $10,000 to $20,000, and it just depends on how many products I'm ordering at once and how many units.
So that's if you're ordering like 5 at one time, right?
Five different products?
Yeah.
No, so.
Or is that just one product?
I just reordered 2 of my products
for 20,000.
And that was, well, I just reordered 2, and that was roughly $12,000.
12,000 for 2.
Yeah.
So if your first product though, actually, how many did you order of that?
In the beginning?
Yeah.
I only ordered 500.
And then how much did that cost you to get up?
That was like $3,500.
Okay.
But that includes like photography, shipping,
right, and the inventory.
Yeah, and this is like when I didn't know what I was doing, so my costs were higher than they should have been.
Nice.
But yeah, it's pretty automated now. So.
All right. Well, Harrison has an interesting financing story about how he got started with all this. So let me get into that. But my arm is falling off because I'm holding this thing. So let's change locations again. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you got up and running, because I know earlier you were telling me it was kind of interesting.
Right. So some of these larger orders, as you know, Amazon is very cash intensive business, and you don't always just have $12,000 laying around. So I used like balance transfer credit cards. So there's a few credit cards out there that you can apply to, and you can literally just, based on how much you get approved for, they just transfer a large sum of cash into your bank account, and you don't have to pay interest on this for usually like 22 months. So in my case, I did 2 separate credit cards for a total amount of like $9,000, which is awesome. It's interest-free money that I don't have to pay off for like 2 years.
So I guess some of the downsides would be that if it doesn't work out, you have $9,000 in really high interest debt, right?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I got to preface that what I did is incredibly risky. And I advise you to do that unless you have no other options. Generally, you'd only want to do this if you have a product that's working, that's already selling, and you're just like reordering. Mm-hmm. But if you were just going to launch a new product to see how it goes, I wouldn't advise taking out debt.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting solution to cash flow problems. Yeah. If you have no other access to cash and a traditional loan is not an option, these credit cards are definitely willing to extend credit to most people. So But you have to be also aware that there's some downside to that, in that your product could flop overnight and then you're stuck with the debt,
Right.
you know? But yeah, as you were saying, if it's placing a reorder, then it seems like
It's a little less risky.
yeah, a
right?
little less risky, for sure. Dude, this guy is biking up the mountain. What a champ. Way to go, man.
Yeah, buddy.
We took the scooter. Look at that thing. It's a beast.
Killing it.
Killing it. Well, Harrison, I think this has been an interesting chat about how to get up and running, and kind of where you got the money from, and
What's possible in
what's possible.
a short amount of period of time.
Dude, a
on
year
Amazon.
and a quarter to 20.
And it's really, and honestly, it's mostly like from April to
Yeah,
now.
Because the first product was kind of a dud at the beginning.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like I went from like literally, so from January to February of this year. No, January to April this year, I only did $10,000 in revenue.
Yeah,
And now I'm on track to do like close to $200,000 for the year.
for the year.
Yeah.
You make up for the first half of the year.
So
first
just like
quarter.
literally overnight, it can just change
Yeah.
everything.
That's awesome. And I think that, a takeaway here, just to kind of reiterate some of what we were saying earlier, multiple product strategy where you're not just trying to find that massive winner is going to be a great way to fortify yourself in the event that, one of those products that was doing really well starts to get more competition, PPC rates go up, or it just starts to decline in general, interest is declining. Then you've got other products you can fall back on at the
Yep.
same time. And think of Amazon as building a portfolio of products.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you need to think about it. Diversification is key.
Nice. All right. Well, with that being said, I'll show you what our view looks like here. Pretty sweet, huh? We made it to the top. We're actually only halfway, but it still looks amazing. All right. Thanks, Harrison.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm back in the wilds of Vietnam here, and I realized there was something that we did not cover in the video, and that is that Harrison is also on YouTube, and he makes some pretty awesome videos over there about Amazon and his journey, what he's learned so far, and how you can kind of repeat the same success that he's had. So I want to make sure that I tell you, go check out his channel, and be sure to subscribe to his channel to learn more about his journey as it's happening, because there's not too many YouTubers out there, or I should say Amazon sellers out there on YouTube that are being really transparent about their experience and their finances. And it can just be really helpful for people getting started or looking to go to the next level. So yeah, go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description to his channel. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the thumbs up button on this video, please. All right, catch you in the next one.